Can you read my mind? Then knock it off. In 1979, director Richard Donner made me believe a man could fly. It was the first big-budget, studio-approved superhero movie, and Superman the movie nailed it. It had the look, it had the costume, and Christopher Reeve embodied Superman perfectly. He was humble, noble, and heroic. It was followed up shortly with Superman 2, where Superman faced 3 Kryptonian villains. That movie was just as iconic and just as quotable.
General? Would you care to step outside?
Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
Then it was followed by Superman 3 and Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. The less said, the better. And that killed Superman faster than a room full of doomsdays. Cut to years later, Bryan Singer takes the director's chair in the appropriately titled Superman Returns. Get out your reading glasses. For those living under a rock, the movie opens with a quick recap of the fate of Krypton. Bryan Singer really wanted to make this a legitimate successor to the Richard Donner version, which includes a rendition of John Williams' original Superman score. And I'm not gonna lie, it sounds great, and it really got me pumped. And then it cuts to Lex Luthor on his latest scheme. Just out of jail, what level of supervillainy is he up to? He's swindling a rich old lady. That's right, the greatest criminal mastermind of all time has been reduced to a bald Anna Nicole.
You've shown me pleasures that I've never known.
Ew.
You can keep that. The rest is mine.
Oh, Clark.
I'm back. What did I miss?
On Tuesday between support
hindered the firefighting efforts for almost. Police have finally arrived at his.
Newly rich, Lex Luthor heads north to the Fortress of Solitude.
Do you know the story of Prometheus?
You mean that disappointing Alien prequel? There he steals some of Superman's stuff, mainly a bunch of crystals that grow shit. Really, why does Superman leave his stuff just hanging around? And why is there no lock on the door? I can't open my phone without a thumbprint, and Lex Luthor can just waltz into the Fortress of Solitude.
Tell me everything, starting with crystals.
Lucky for Clark, his old job is waiting for him.
Hey, look who's back.
Kent?
Hey, Chief. Thank you for giving me my job back.
Don't thank me. Thank Norm Palmer for dying.
Now, doesn't that seem a little too convenient? Oh, and I guess Lois Lane's daughter works here. Wait, that's Lois?
Wait, she's married? Yes. No.
And it turns out Lois Lane had a child when she was 16, I guess, so I'll give you one guess who the father is.
But if you ask me, she's still in love with you-know-who.
Meanwhile, Lex is testing his new crystal on a toy model of Metropolis. Did they add screaming to all those fake people getting killed? But his experiment momentarily blacks out the entire eastern seaboard, which causes Lois's space shuttle launch story to go all pear-shaped. This looks like a job for plot convenience. Get ready for the most exciting, coolest scene in the entire movie. This scene is flawless. It's awesome. This is the Superman we want to see, saving the day in the most over-the-top way imaginable, and the effects are brilliant.
fly up.
Is everyone all right?
Sploosh.
Just sploosh.
Sploosh. Sploosh. Sploosh.
But it's downhill after this. The movie cannot top this.
Superman Returns.
How come nobody notices Clark and Superman came back at the same time?
Clark, Richard, Clark.
Richard White. Hi.
And Lois is with a new guy, played by James Marsden, formerly Cyclops from the X-Men franchise. He left playing the third wheel in a love triangle to play yet another third wheel in a love triangle. He's a nice enough guy, and he seems to care about Lois and her child, but he's just not fucking Superman. You're gonna pale. Superman super stalks his ex. This is super creepy.
So I noticed you've been acting a little different lately.
Have I?
Well, you've been standing in a puddle since Superman came back.
Ew.
Super depressed, Superman goes looking for super trouble. Who robs a bank with a chain gun? That must have taken forever to set up. No wonder these guys are robbing a bank. Those bullets ain't cheap. This is the second coolest scene. Haven't you always wondered why bad guys never seem to shoot Superman in the face until now? Oh yeah, and Lex steals kryptonite, enough said.
You know, you really shouldn't smoke, Miss Lane.
Oh yeah, another reference to the old Superman movies. He takes Lois Lane on a flying trip. Can you read my mind? No.
Richard's a good man. And you've been gone a long time.
Yeah, that's cool, baby.
Good night, Lois.
Oh, by the way, you're pregnant again. Faster than a speeding bullet! Now Superman finally discovers his shit's missing. Target has better security than this place. I bet it was Kaiser Soze. Lois is still trying to investigate the blackout, which leads her to Lex and his yacht. She has the kid with her, because it's take your kid to work day, and she's captured by Lex.
Lex Luthor.
Lois Lane?
A few minutes sooner, she would have caught him on the toilet. Supervillain plot reveal. He's going to use Superman's crystals, infuse them with kryptonite, and make a new continent. Because somehow this will make him money and not shot or arrested.
Come on, let me hear you say it just once. Come on.
Superman will never.
Wrong!
So Lex starts to create a new landmass. Honestly, if it was cheap enough, I'd look into it. Before Supes can do anything, he has to save Metropolis from the earthquake it caused. The rescue bits are okay, if a bit generic. Again, hard to top this. But when Superman finally arrives, the kryptonite weakens him enough for Lex and his goons to beat him up. I don't know why they didn't just kill him, or else we wouldn't have a movie. Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. I thought this casting was inspired. He's not anything like Gene Hackman's portrayal, but he shouldn't be. 20 years in prison can and will change a person. Spacey's Luthor is meaner, harder, and more ruthless. He shivs Superman with a kryptonite blade. How prison yard is that?
Now fly.
This time, Lois rescues Superman. You go, girl. He recovers with a quick tan and throws the kryptonite island into space before it does any damage. But he's hurt and crashes back to Earth. Earth doctors try to help, and they actually do. I just hope he's super insured. Superman is in a super coma when Lois tells him he has a super child.
You are the father!
I'm kidding, he really doesn't do that. But back in super creepy mode, he gives his son the same speech Jor-El gave him. Kidding aside, this is actually a pretty sweet moment.
The son becomes the father. And the father becomes the son.
Will we see you? Around?
I'm always around.
More than you know. And it ends with one more Donnerism, Superman flying off into space. That was Superman Returns. This was a love letter to the original Superman, a sequel that picks and chooses. Casting is somehow younger? Lex still craves land, Brando is still Jor-El, Superman's flying dates with Lois, and Jimmy Olsen's still with the bow ties.
Bow ties are cool.
The younger characters wouldn't be such an issue if this was a straight origin tale. Like we need another one, right? But having this be a sequel and everyone so visibly younger was a little distracting. Brandon Routh did a good job portraying Clark Kent without totally mimicking Christopher Reeve. It would have been too easy to turn him into a bumbling idiot, but he was sweet, likable, and less than studly in his glasses. Remind you of anyone? But I could not buy Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane.
I'm done, Superman.
She was supposed to be a tough, jaded reporter who had seen it all, and it would have taken something as extraordinary as Superman to thrill her. Kate Bosworth was 23 when this movie released. She kept reminding me of a little girl wearing mommy's clothes. Frank Langella as Perry White, while he played the role well, it just kind of felt like a waste of talent. When I first heard he was cast, I was praying he was Lex. John Ottman's cover of John Williams' original score was a perfect update. Superman's theme is still one of my favorites. No disrespect to Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score, but I couldn't hum it to save my life. Also, the story makes little sense. How is Lex going to sell land when he murders 1 billion potential land buyers to do it?
Billions!
And why give Superman a son when they do almost nothing with him? And why give him powers at one time but not others? It just felt incomplete to me. They probably would have explored it more in a sequel, but I really wish movies would stop depending on everything becoming a franchise. Tell your damn story. This isn't television. You're never guaranteed a next episode. As for a Superman movie, there's not a whole lot of Superman. We don't see the big S until half an hour in. Except for a few crimes, Superman doesn't face off against much. Punch something already. The big boss fight is Superman carrying a big rock. I'm giving Superman Returns a 2 out of 5. But this movie isn't all bad. There are some great moments keeping it from being terrible. It's still better than 3 and 4. I just wanted more. Maybe less nostalgia, more adventure, definitely more Superman, less stalking. Some casting was perfect, some not.
Wrong!
The cinematography and overall look is beautiful. This is a gorgeous looking movie. That is, when you could see anything. But there are some scenes that are just too dark. Foreshadowing of things to come? It's a closer match to the original Superman movies, and not Zack Snyder's vision. Whether you enjoy it or not will depend on what you want. Do you want a trip down memory lane, or do you want something different? And if you like this video, give a thumbs up, and subscribe. You know you want to. Who's your favorite Superman? Leave a comment below. This is theNewBee. Thanks for watching.